Welcome back. We're listening right now to Teona Zak with Burn. Teona Zak is a singer and a songwriter and a contemporary pop artist. She began her musical journey decades ago. In fact, 2,778.1 miles from where she is now in Los Angeles. She started that journey in Staten Island, New York. I actually looked up the miles. That's how long, that's how far away it is. And if you drove, which she did, probably took her a little longer to take you 41 hours. She attended the prestigious Berklee College of Music in Boston, where she studied songwriting and performance with a minor in music business. With school behind her, she just knew that her next big move had to be across the country to Los Angeles, even though she'd never been there and didn't know anyone. She was an East Coast girl, and this was no time for fear or hesitation. She was as sure in her heart as she had ever been about anything that her opportunities were on the West Coast. And so she packed up everything she owned and drove across the country to La La Land to begin her professional life in music. That was just a little over a year ago. In the past year, Teona has accomplished a great deal in her new city, which is filled with artists and dreamers. She has released 2 singles, Golden Days, which we just heard, and Alive, which you're going to hear at the end of the show, at the end of the interview. So don't go anywhere. You got to check that new single out. It's hot. And then later this fall, she's going to release her first EP. It's called To Be Loved. The titles to her songs tell the story of Teona's tireless pursuit and passion for writing and performing her music, serving as a blueprint for all artists as to what it takes to succeed as a music artist today. And a little over a year later, she continues to build her career through a combination of her classical training background, her original compositions, and live performances in the cutthroat Los Angeles music scene. Welcome to the Jeremiah Show, Teona.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here. It's such an honor. You did that perfectly. That was the best description. You got everything.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. And what we didn't get, we're going to talk about right now. I want to congratulate you before I forget on your soon to be released debut EP, To Be Loved.
Thank you so much. It's been a long time coming, 2 years. A lot of a lot of struggles during that, trials, but we're finally here. I'm so excited for everyone to hear it. It's definitely a project that I'm just so passionate about, that I'm so excited for people to hear and kind of see the journey through that. So it's gonna be something. Check it out.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the journey. You left a lot behind to pursue music. Did you ever have any other choice though, than to follow the music that you heard in your heart?
Um, yes, and my mom till this day still thinks I should do it. She believes in me, but she's like, Law, I if you can't tell, I'm not a shy person,
Hmm.
and I always had a passion for law specifically, and that was something I liked, but it wasn't something that fulfilled me. It was just something I was good at. Like I can argue. I'm literally from Staten Island. I'm from New York and I'm Russian. So we can do this all day. But it was something that the feeling of when I was writing and the feeling of when I was in a studio and on stage, it didn't even compare. And I knew the first so during high school, I was set. I was gonna do pre-law, I was gonna go into law school, and my brother actually took me to go see Berklee College of Music behind my mom's back and was like, I think you should go see it, because one of the attorneys I was interning for was like, "I think you should look into music," because everyone knew I sang, I just didn't follow it, like, professionally yet. I went to Berkeley, fell in love with it, and I was like, "Alright, this is gonna be," I just felt it in my gut, like, "This is something I need to do," because you could always go back to law, but you can't go back to music, like, and I said I just felt that, like, pull. And so the first, I would say, risk was going to Berkeley and actually owning the fact that I'm gonna do this. Because my brother even was like, "You can't have one foot in, one foot out, like, you have to go fully in." And so that was what happened. I went to Berkeley, and I knew my first year, like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And then it only kept, like, things just kept going, like, it was like a domino effect of every decision I was doing only led me more and more to what my passion was. And I realized that this is where I'm supposed to be. Of course, it's difficult. Of course, there were so many things that you doubt, you have insecurities. I had imposter syndrome the first year in Berkeley because I was like, am I even good enough? Because you're surrounded by all these amazing artists, even in LA, and you're thinking about it. And it's like, you gotta, you gotta be better than your mind because your mind is always gonna like lie to you. And so I kept getting these trials, getting these insecurities, but I still kept going. And then ironically, when I graduated Berkeley, I was like, my producer, Carson Ezell, he was moving out here and he's like, "I think you should come. I think that we need to be together working on the songs," because everything prior to the EP we were doing in Boston. And so it was this big leap of faith. I was like, "Oh my God, like, am I gonna actually do this?" Like, am I go and I didn't tell, like, what's funny is I wouldn't even tell people, like, I picked a day, I went to Italy with my mom, and then I said, "When I get back, I'm gonna get in the car and I'm gonna just drive out and go to LA." And I was like, "No one is gonna talk me out of this, like, I'm just gonna do it." And I picked a day, and I was like, "I'm gonna be here, like, around this time because I'm leaving on this day," and I just left. And people would text me from Staten Island, they were like, "Where are you right now? Like, you're in, like, a road trip or something." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not coming back." Like, it was once I left because I knew I didn't want voices or people talking me out
Right.
of something, because I think that is something where people are scared to take risks because
Right.
no one is gonna understand your passion except for you. And so I was like, "All right." I got
You
in.
didn't want to be talked out of it.
What? Yeah, I didn't wanna be talked
You did not want to be
to.
talked out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
What
like,
was the hardest thing for you to leave behind?
I think my family and friends, because I became, it was my whole life, that's what I knew. And so, like, even with college, even though I went to, like, Boston for school, um, I was still able, it was so close, I could still go whenever I wanted a weekend back, and it was, like, comfortable to me, it was what I knew. And just, like, blindly saying, "Alright, I'm gonna go to this state I don't know, to this city I only know, like, a couple of people, and even then, only, like, 2 close people to me." It was like, that scared me, that was terrifying to me, but I was like, the fear of not going scared me more, and I'll never get over when I did have a dinner with my family, with my friends, and I just start, like, looking at everyone. It was like this epiphany, like, I'm staring at everyone in this table, and I'm like, I kid you not, like, a tear coming down my eye, and my friend's like, "Are you crying?" I was like, "No, no, 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 no." And it was that realization of, like, it scares me more to actually stay here than it
Yeah.
does to go somewhere. It scares me more even though this is what I know and this is what feels me, it scares me more to stay here because I knew there was something out there that I had to go and just pursue, and it
Did
worked
you have to
out.
Yeah, and so you're looking around the table at everybody like it's the last time you'll see them, and they don't know what's
Yeah.
coming, what you're doing, what you're planning. Did you almost need to burn the bridges behind you as you drove across country to stay? You know what I mean? Was there no doubt in your mind, "I'm going out there, I'm gonna make it before I come back?" What was your mindset?
It was definitely like, "I'm leaving, no one's gonna talk me out of it," even the fear, like, "I'm fine, like, I'm gonna go," and when I told everyone, I was like, "This is what I've wanted for so long, this is what I," like, everyone at, like, I wanna say the first 3 months of me being in LA finally understood, like, this is what she wants to do, like, even when I went to Berkeley, that was something that a lot of people didn't think I should do yet, and it worked out. So I think a lot of people started supporting it more and more, and it's very easy to, like, kind of give an opinion when you're not seeing the full picture, And so when I got there and things were falling, like everything was like falling into place, that's when everyone was like, "Oh, this is exactly what you should." I was like, "Guys, you should have said this. If only this was the support I would have gotten before. I mean, I didn't want to tell you because you guys would have been scared."
Well, they love you. They didn't want you to go anywhere. They want to see you. So if I'm not mistaken, September 7th was that day where you left and you drove to LA. So that you're coming up on the 2-year anniversary here in like 6 days. Is that right?
Yeah. I left September 7th. I did cross country, so I didn't get here until like a week after I left, and I officially like moved in because I was staying with my aunt. I was staying with my best friend too, and I didn't officially move in till October 1st. And that's when I'm like, I'm an LA girl now.
Describe those first couple days in LA. Were you scared at all? I mean, I get you'd come from a big city so and moved to a big city, but that's a big move. And you're a fish out of water, you're a little fish in the big pond, whatever whatever you want to use there. Insert tacky description. But were you scared? I mean, it's
I
this big unknown place for you, and you've got incredibly hard challenges ahead of you.
I I remember not being I was scared before I left. Like I was calling my best friend and producer all the time prior to leaving, being like, "Should I come? Should I not come? Should I go? Should I not go?" Like I was like it was that fear and anxiety. But when I finally got here, I was like, "Okay, there's a reason." And I was very at peace with that decision. Like it was like, "Okay, I'm here." And so then rather than being scared, it was like I need to it all happened so fast. Like it all was just like, what do I need to do to financially be able to be here? Like I was just focused on that, like, okay, car, apartment, this, that, where it's like when I got here, it was like not me being scared, but more so, okay, now I gotta hustle, like let's get it together. And it wasn't until a couple months after when everything finally like I was settled in that I sat down and was like, whoa, and all the feelings came where it was like, I'm literally in Los Angeles right now. Like, what? Like, I live
And
in Los Angeles, and that's when it really hit, because when I got here, it was just like, "Let me show you this, let me show you this, let's go see this, let's go do this, you need to go get this, you need to go get let's go find you a job, let's go," and it was just nonstop. So
if you would have stopped and thought about it, you probably would have panicked.
oh my gosh, yeah.
The adrenaline hadn't caught up yet. Well,
I
that's
was still on
actually
that, cross country adrenaline. I was like, "Let's keep going."
let's do what do I need to do? What do I need to get out of the way? I love this quote from you. You say the ability to take risks becomes easier when you decide on the life that you want. Explain what that means to you. I think that's such great advice for everybody out there. I want them to hear it.
I think why I say that a lot is because when you start to see, you have to see the life you want for yourself, and you have to do everything to get there. It's one thing to dream something and not do it. Like it's not just going to come to you. And so when you start to believe like in that dream that you want, in that life that you want, risks are so easy to take because it's like, well, you see it as the next step. It's not even a risk, it's not a loss. It's like whatever is going to get me to where I want to be. Because I think that people are so scared to take risks, and it hinders them from like actually finding themselves. Because I always think about it, I could have settled for law. I was good at it, but I was like if I didn't, I'd always look back. And so I had to like go and take those risks, go to LA, go see it. And if it failed, it failed. At least I could say I did it, because I don't think like without risks, there's no risk, no story. And so if you're not taking those risks, you're never going to have the story you want for yourself. And so when you believe in that, it kind of overshadows that fear, because that desire overpowers the fear as a whole. And that's just for me, and I know it's hard because I think it's easier said than done. I think people are like, "Oh, like just go do whatever you want." Like, but there's a dream in your heart for a reason. And if there is that dream, you got to follow everything that's going to get you to that dream. And it's going to work out, because it wouldn't be there if it wasn't meant for you in the first place.
So, but that is a fear of a lot of people and most people, I would say, that they don't make that, they may make that connection, but they don't make that leap that you do. Are you just wired that way, or where does that come from? Did you grow up watch
Yeah.
your mom inspirational, or you just wired that way? You're just,
I
you just got to do it. It's some, you see the path and you just take it.
I think my mom and grandma, the way I was brought up is a lot of the reason as well as why I am the way I am.
Tell me about them then.
Oh, they're they are strong women. And so my mom my mom is from Moscow. And so since she was a kid, she always saw herself in America. She was like, I knew I was supposed to be in America. And same thing, like she got the green card. She came here with nothing. Like my grandma was like, Tiana, we came here. I had $5 in my pocket. But it was the way I presented myself. It's how you carry yourself as well. Like it's how I carried myself that I got to where I wanted to be. And I saw like it's gonna work out. Like you just gotta, like I said, it's all in your mind. It's a head thing. So you gotta like sit there and just keep pushing. And so my mom, when we moved here, um, she was a stay-at-home mom. And then when my parents got divorced, she had my dad left when I was around 11, and she had to change her entire life. I watched her go to nursing school and graduate like top of her class, not
Wow.
knowing English. Like imagine like, all right, you don't know English, but imagine now going to like nursing school, like, I don't even know medical terms, and I speak English, like, she didn't know English like that, and I wouldn't see my mom for, like, 4 years. She was in her room constantly studying to get the life that she wanted, and I saw that no, she wouldn't take no for an answer, like, she would always push, like, she would
So
always
you get, that was inspirational to you. You weren't resentful that she was spending so much time bettering herself or learning a new craft,
I think there
improving
I
her
think
life. You
I think
saw it actually as a inspiration.
yeah, I think that there was a moment obviously, I was young, I was really young, and so, like, when my father left, that hurt. That was something I mean, I wrote a song about it that it was just like to me, it broke me. That was probably my first heartbreak ever. And so for me, I felt like I almost lost 2 parents, but I knew my mom was doing it for the family. Like, it took time for me to see that because like but in the moment, yeah, like, hurt, but then I was like it only inspired me because 'cause I'm like, "My mom is such a badass." Like, my mom is literally the definition of an independent, strong woman, and that's what she raised me to be like. And my grandma too, like, she built, a whole home base for us, and I was watching both of them really, like, take this responsibility and job of doing it all really and taking those risks, not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow, but like still moving and still going and still pursuing. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm wired that way because I think all I've ever seen around me was strong women who consistently fought for what they wanted, especially with everything that was going around them. Like, when my grandma told me $5 in her pocket and she like and I'm like, "What?" Like, and I'm sitting here, like, going to like, it was crazy to me, and I was like, "No," like, once I saw that and I was constantly seeing it, my mom till this day does not take no for an answer. She is stubborn, she is strong, and it only inspires you, like, if you see someone and you're constantly conditioned that way to see that, you're gonna also kind of be wired in that way, and so I do credit them a lot because that is why I'm not scared to take risk because I've seen them take so many that weren't small risks, it was huge risks.
When you moved to LA, did you have $5 in your pocket, or how much
I
did you have?
I had a little bit more, but
A little bit more.
I came here with no job, no apartment. I I was actually like people were like I'll never get over when I said I wanted to move to LA. This was like during Berkeley. Like I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna end up there at some point. And people are like, do you have like, are you gonna have like good medical insurance or like dental? And I was like, yes. Like I was just going with whatever I wanted to hear because I was like, yes, yes. So like when I moved out there too, for a little bit, I was just saying, yeah, I'm good, I'm good. But I knew like I wasn't like I needed to find a job. I was doing an internship, but even then and I was waitressing, and then on the side and that came so fast, like, in a week of me being there, I found through that internship, I found someone that was like, "Oh, my friend's opening a restaurant, like, do you wanna" Um, do you want a waitress there? And then that's how I found Kezia, my manager and best friend. And for me, like everything was going, like I said, a domino effect. But when I came here, I had no car, like I had money saved up from like when I was working in the East Coast. But it is scary to think, okay, you got these things saved, but it's gonna run out if you don't get something, like, and so that was a fear of mine. I have no apartments are like insane here too. And I was like, no apartment, none this, none that. And it was like I said, I was consistently focusing on what can I do now to be able to survive here. And it was,
But when I hear this story, I wonder, do you feel like this all worked out and it's working out the way it should? It's kind of every piece is falling into place. There is a bigger picture, that faith that you talked about.
yeah.
There is a bigger picture for me that I'm going to be okay.
Yes. I never, even with all the anxiety, because like I think when people hear my story or hear um just like what I say, I think people assume that I'm just like delusional and everything's like gonna be fine. And in my head, I'm like, no, you're human. You're gonna have anxiety. You're gonna have fears, and that happens. But there's
When
this
do those creep
peace.
in?
Oh, they creep in. They creep in occasionally. I think with the EP coming out, there has been like I have those. You've been where I've been. This is like my baby. Like I've worked on
Uh,
it for 2 years, and I'm like, well, what if no one likes it? Like, what if this is? And that's normal. That's a normal response. And I have to always say, like you said, my faith plays a strong role. Is like God's voice has to be the loudest voice in a room. Like let that voice be the loudest voice in a room because it's going to crumble you if you're not set. Like you just have to consistently tell yourself, like, no, it's for a reason, it's for a reason, because I saw it. So when I those doubts creep in, I do look back. I tell myself, what have you accomplished already? Like what have you done and it's worked out? Why wouldn't it work out now? Like you got to remind yourself consistently all the achievements, all the things that you have done, to keep pushing if that's what you have to do. Because I think like I said, I forget sometimes, and you have to remind yourself those things.
Describe your best memory of a golden day for you.
Oh, golden day. Honestly, I I would say one of the best moments, especially like living in LA, was like the beach days. Like it brought me back that when I moved to LA and I was going to the beach a lot and watching the sunset, it brought back memories of why the song was inspired was my summers in the East Coast, because I would always be at the beach, and the sunset, sunrise is something so, like, I'll get up as early, I'll stay as late just to watch it. And so, one like, the best golden days is being so carefree, like, being with your friends, being with the people that you love, and being at the beach.
And those memories are hazy the way you describe them. They are, aren't they like this, just this golden, it's like a bleached out old film,
Yeah.
it's like these, hey, kind of blurry and bright. And, you described it so well in your song. I love the lyrics.
It's Thank you. It was Yeah, I think the song was inspired by, like, what makes summer summer is like, okay, like, fall's gonna come, but right now we have these days, and I really every line tells something that is my favorite, what makes my golden day, what makes it.
Mhm.
It's like those pink skies, it's the sand, it's the care like, being carefree, like, not worrying about what's gonna come tomorrow, but, like, let's take it in now. Getting, like, windows down, the radio loud, because I do that. I literally blast the radio, I'm, like, windows open, and I'm just screaming on top of my lungs. Like, to me, that is a golden day. To me, it's like,
Mhm.
no worry in the world. It's just all these little things that make this one moment. And I just thought, let's write everything that is summer to me. What makes me happy? And a lot of it was nostalgic because that was exactly what I was doing every summer, is blasting music, going to the beach every single day. Even though I burn, I was like, let me it was something that brought me joy. And I wanted to really capture that moment in this song so people can feel that same nostalgic energy, that same feeling of like carefree and pure joy.
And aren't those the best days? But they're so fleeting and there are so, well, at least for me, so few of them I can remember, but I don't remember as good as they are. There should be more of them, or we should make an effort to make more of them.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so poignant too that I'm talking to you today on Labor Day, that the summer is over and the fall is coming with some new exciting gifts from you, musically, but it's such a poetically summer and the end of those golden days. I don't know, they kind of stir up emotions for you because it is such a special day, and we all know what we're talking about. We've all had them. I hope we've all had them, but
If not, go do it, guys. Go find
yes,
it.
but we should more often, right? I mean, it sounds like you do a lot. Sounds like you live in the moment and you realize the special moments that you're in and make the most of them. Do you believe in monsters?
I just um, do I believe in monsters? I do, like, but I think more like people. Like, I think people are more monsters to me. I don't believe in, um, like Freddy Krueger is gonna come into my room at night. I believe now, like, as a kid, I was terrified, but I believe in, like, more people are monsters. That's my theory.
Well, the question is, you know what the question is, and I don't know if the listeners do, but if they don't know the song, but this was the first song that you wrote at 11, I believe, when your father left, and you wrote lyrically, you wrote this song, and then this was also the first song, right, that you produced, that you
Really?
created.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, how do you think, though? Have you thought back? As we mature, we look at those things that were so tough for us and hard, and a lot of times we learn from them, or we learn something that we didn't realize till we think about it. Did you learn anything from your father leaving, as painful as it was, that maybe now you look back has contributed to your artistry? I mean, the obvious is that yes, you wrote a song and produced a song about it called Monsters, but other than that, has it left a mark in work that you do, that you produce today?
I think that at the time when you know, I didn't know I could write. I didn't even have I didn't have like songwriting as something that was always on my mind. Like, and when my dad left, I was just very angry. I was very reserved. Like, I was loud for sure, but I was like, I would put this mask on. Like, I didn't want anyone to see emotion. I didn't want to cry in front of anyone. I was like, everything is fine because I felt like I would never let someone hurt me the way he did because there was a lot of pain in that situation, um and there's a lot of like to feel all of that. It was hard for me. Like I didn't want to go to therapy for it because I was like, well, what is that? I couldn't express what I was feeling. And so one day, um when I got on the piano and I was playing chords and then I was playing like kind of like verbally expressing what I was feeling. I saw that that's how it came, and like I said in the past, like when words failed, music spoke to me. And I
Mhm.
realized that through that grew my passion for songwriting and music in general because I think that we live in a world that is so we don't wanna show vulnerability, we don't wanna show people our pain, we don't wanna we don't wanna show any of that, like, I think, especially now, everyone is very desensitized to, like, what's the reality, and I was like, "I want to express that there is such thing as pain, there is heartbreak, there is anger, there are these emotions," and I don't like, a lot of people say, "Oh, do you still feel, like, sad about that or regret?" And I'm like, no, because it made me who I am. Because through that, it inspired me to consistently write my music and be unapologetically honest, no matter how scary, ugly, um, dark, whatever it was I was feeling. I saw that it was through music that I was able to express that. And if that inspires people, that is what I want. I don't want people to just listen. I want people to feel what I'm saying, not just listen. And that was because of that through all of that, I was like, there's something so beautiful through that heartbreak that if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be who I was. I wouldn't be the artist that I was. I wouldn't even write the way I write. And I'm very I'm very I don't want to say thankful, but I'm very like I see the beauty in that pain, which I'm thankful that I got through music, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If going in reverse a little bit here, I thought I heard you say that that pain you felt you didn't want to feel again, that you didn't want to be in that position to feel that way. But then somewhere through this catharsis or this evolving or this blossoming, you realized let's let whatever comes come, we'll let the pain come in, we'll let feelings come back in. Is that true? Did I hear you right? And then
Yeah.
that
I oh no.
then you were able to pull from that as far as wanting to get that message, put it back out there to let people know it's okay to
Mhm.
feel these things
Yeah,
through the
because
songwriting.
I think when my dad left, that was when I didn't wanna feel. I didn't wanna feel, I didn't want I wanted to act like it wasn't a real thing. Like if no one sees me in pain, it's not real. Like it's not like let's just kind of push it away. And I didn't want to express how I was feeling. I didn't want anyone to see how I was feeling. And it was through my music was the only time that I was able to own that pain and fully actually tell the truth. This is how I feel. This is
Mhm.
what broke me. And I wasn't scared anymore because I think that prior to me even being able to write and sing, I didn't know how to express that. And so once I found my passion and was able like that song came, I was like, "Whoa, this is like therapy that's free." Like and this is like for me like let me just this is what this is where my passion for music started. If it wasn't through that, I don't think I would have found it in that way.
Or what I like about what you're saying, what I think is so great about what you've gone through, what you've realized, not what you've gone through, but what you've realized from what you've gone through, is that most people, in fact, I just spoke with someone a couple days ago and they said, I was feeling this pain, I was feeling this abandonment, but I would not acknowledge it or show it because that would be saying I was giving in to it, that they affected me. So instead, I built this hard shell around myself. And I think that's what most people do, really. I think
Yeah.
when somebody, and you're doing the opposite, which I admire, and I'm like loving this conversation because it's a new way of thinking. It's like, no, it did affect me. It did. By ignoring it, it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And by acknowledging it means it happened and you become more human and more honest and real. I love that. Thank you for explaining that. In terms of songwriting right now, what subjects are you most interested in exploring at this stage in your growth?
I think now I find myself really diving into wanting to write about my journey in the growth actually ironically because I think a lot of my songs are about heartbreak, falling in love, and I want to dive into like I said before there was this period of being in LA I didn't write about that. I want to write about I'm diving into seeing the growing pains, kind of like Stevie Nicks is I was just saying she's one of my inspirations and I see her like a lot of how she writes like and the storytelling about her growth and what she has gone through, but it has nothing not all her songs are about relationships and I think that inspired me to want to write about me, like what I am feeling, like the doubts, the growing up, like being in your 20s and chasing a dream and kind of putting away now relationships and heartbreak and just focusing on me and writing about that. Because I think there's a lot that I've experienced through this journey that I haven't put into writing that I'm really excited to dive into and
I was
share.
gonna say, is that exciting for you that you've got more, you got so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm like, I think especially like you talk about risk, like I want to put that into words. I want to make a song where people are like, "Oh, okay, we see her. Like this is her." Um and not and kind of like I want to steer away from the whole heartbreak. I'm diving into happy songs now. I mean, Golden Days Alive, like I'm like, let's write them because life is so joyful right now. So I'm like, let's dive into that. Everyone wants the happy. Let's dive into that because it there is something to be happy about. Like I want to start making those melodies that are catchy, that are happy, that aren't so like dark. So stay tuned. Those wheels
Happiness
are
on the way.
turning.
Yeah, we could use that. So I encourage that. I can't wait to hear what you've come up with next. So, do you think though that your lyrical honesty, because you put a lot out there, especially you described when you had, you lost your voice medically, you had some issues there and you weren't able to sing. And I think it was also maybe over COVID where you just started writing more. You started, digging in deeper, really analyzing feelings and really analyzing subjects. And I had the question, does that honesty, does it give to you or does it take from you?
It definitely never takes. I think that my whole life, my songwriting has always it's to give. It heals something in me. It makes me like almost it mends something that I've been trying to say. And my mom is a very private. She likes to be private about her life. And so I think when Monster came out, that was something that was ironic. She's like, "You can't put this out like this. You can't tell people it's about your dad." Like, and I was like, "No, I want people to know." I was like, I want that honesty out there. And with the EP, um, how you mentioned, like, I went through a vocal injury, and it was one of the most challenging times, I wanna say, because I moved to LA, and I get this vocal injury 2 months in, and I'm like, "Oh, I came here to sing, like, and I can't sing." And so I really focused on what I was writing and how I was portraying it to an audience. And what actually came to be was so much detail. Nothing was going like, when you listen to the EP, nothing is random. And I think my writing in the past, not that it was random, it was this, like there was not there was thought, but now it's, like, deeper. It's, like, think of it like Taylor Swift when she has those, like, Easter eggs and she's putting things out and every line has a meaning, every line tells a story, and that was what I discovered through not having a voice. I was like, "Well, let's think deeper into what I'm trying to say." And that escalated my music tremendously because it wasn't just, again, like a listening to music. It was a feeling. It was, I'm going to envision everything you said, like Burn. Everything about Burn, I wanted to depict what I actually felt. Like one of the lines is like crying on a bathroom floor. And like I visually, that is what I want people to see because that is what it's saying. And every line kind of foreshadows the next song. Like there's little Easter eggs in the songs that I was like, okay, now that I'm only focusing on this, I want to be as truthful as I could be because the pain that I experienced is so raw that I want these songs to be raw and I want these songs to really be so detailed, you're not going to miss it. You're not going to, you're going to want to be like, whoa, whoa. And like a movie, when you watch a movie for the first time, that's something where I'm like, this EP is like cinematic. When you watch a movie for the first time and then you rewatch it, you find different things that you didn't see in the first
Mhm.
time you watched it. That's what I want my songs to be. Oh, that's what she meant. Oh, I didn't see it that way. Oh, okay. I didn't pick up on that. And every single thing is not just written just to write. It is everything I felt, everything that I experienced, everything that from the colors that I'm talking about to the moments, like it is so visual that I think if I wouldn't have focused so much in my songwriting if I didn't have if I did have my voice, because it was like, "This is all I have now. Now write it. Now figure it out." Not just by how you sound when you sing a note. Now we're gonna take everything away and just it's like, "This is your canvas, and now you gotta really paint something different."
I like that. And yeah, I thought about colors when I listened to your music. Like I thought about, and I wanted that was going to be a question. It's not one, but I guess maybe it is now. What colors do you see? Do you that define the music? And, because I feel like you're very visual. And your music is very visual. And I felt like it's colorful for sure. Um, so you can answer that if you want, or we can move
No,
on.
this is actually a great question because when when I first was inspired to write this EP, it was almost I remember, like, wanting to rush it because I was like, "Oh, like, we have to get it out." Like, I need people to see that I'm doing something since I moved to LA, and but when I wrote it, I envisioned it in the fall, and then I remember there was a moment where it was done, and we could have put it out in the spring, and I was like, "Okay, let's see, maybe." And when we decided to wait and, like, plan it, I was actually one of the reasons I was so happy that we did that was because the colors I saw were all fall it was browns, it was like, um, nudes, it was like it was fall, it's a fall album, like, it genuinely it's the c like, from the dresses that I'm wearing to the colors that you're seeing in the music videos that are gonna come along with it, like, everything is, like is the definition of fall. So I see all these fall colors. I see like the burnt orange, the black, the brown, the dark green, all of it. And which ironically is like exactly what To Be Loved is. And when you see these colors being there, it's like fall. That is all I see because it also ironically shows letting go of something. And when you're letting go, those are dark colors. Those aren't like these songs aren't
Mhm.
like supposed to be like um it's not supposed to be, like, joyful, but it's more of a journey, and even Alive, a lot of dark green, like, fairy tale colors, but they're more, like, Snow Whitish, like, very, like, in the forest, like, stuff like that as you see, like, in this picture. That's all, like, it depicts exactly what I saw was the fall, and even with that happy song, I still see those colors, which was
I knew you'd have an answer for this one. I
I'm a
knew
color
you I knew
person.
you thought about it. Well, I even went further. I'm like, what's the stage? What eventually do you have a dream of like you're at a stadium, you're playing to a sold out audience in the stadium tour. What does that stage look like? I just knew you had these. Yeah, I knew
I'm
you'd have.
always those wheels are turning, oh.
Yeah, I'm sure you're dreaming about those things.
Yeah.
Um, how honest we're talking about lyrics and being honest and that it helps you as much as it helps your audience, your listeners, your fans, but how much is too honest? And do you have boundaries? How much truth can you give your fans? And what parts of yourself do you need to keep just for you?
I think my music is unapologetically honest always. I think where I become private sometimes is through social media. I mean, I'm very open on that as well, like, I'm constantly but I think when I hinder back is, I like I try not to show too much of personal things, like whether that's relationships, things like that, through social media. But through my music, I just don't care. Like I was like, this is because music is supposed to make, if it's gonna inspire someone, I think it's worth it. Where tend to hinder back is where it's like social media, even like certain conversations when being asked, I might, like, not give the full response, like, I try to, like, let it be interpreted the way that the listener is gonna feel. Like, when
Mhm.
Monster came out, I was unapologetically honest, but I didn't say in the song that it was about my dad until, a couple months after releasing it because I didn't want that to be the definition for someone listening to the song. I wanted you to hear this and what are you feeling when you listen to it? And then slowly I'm honest about what it is what it's about, what my music is about, but I tend to be more private with the more whether it's interviews or like social things, but eventually I'm like an open book. So it does come out eventually. It's just like it takes time. Like I remember releasing for the EP even when doing these like we did music videos for these songs, and I remember being like, let's use a picture of what who the person is about, because burn is about, burning the relationship away. And I remember my manager, she was like, you want to do that? And I was like, what if we burn, what if we like make it darker? Like, but I wasn't, I didn't shy away, but I also was like, all right, like let's kind of make it somewhat private, but still honest, like honest in some way. But the music is all will forever be unapologetically honest. There's no rules when it comes to my writing. I just write what I feel, um and I think that's what's beautiful about my music is, again, it's not just something you listen, but it is feel. And when you feel and you truly feel, you need to be honest and you need to let it out, because these are emotions, these
But
are things.
and that's when the listener knows, though, when they hear that truth and that honesty, and there's no hiding it, and they get it. That's when you reach a listener. That's when you reach us, right?
Yeah.
That's when a music artist reaches you, like Stevie Nicks that you referred to. She
Mhm.
said something resonated with you, and that's when you have that real connection with that music artist.
Mhm.
Um, can I ask you two things about honesty? Two, name, if you can, give me a line in a song of yours that's super honest, that you love, that you just absolutely love, that you
I
wrote.
love this question. I love this question.
And
The
then the second thing about, sorry, Stevie Nicks. Give me one that you like from her, if you can.
um I would say out of my song, and it's unreleased, it's on the EP, it is by far one of my favorite um lines I've ever written, and it's, you were the heartbreak that turned into prayer. And the
Mm,
reason why I love that is cuz it's like it it depicts exactly like, if I didn't go through this, I wouldn't be who I was. Like it led me, rather that, like, if I wasn't through that heartbreak, I wouldn't have found like, I dove into faith. I dove into like what I needed, what was needed of me, like finding myself. And so that one line to me has always been strong, because it's the
yeah.
truth. It's like, if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't have found myself. And I'm
There's a whole world in there in that line. There's a
yeah.
whole story.
That's like by far. I
Yeah,
remember when I
that's
wrote that
beautiful.
song, I was like, that's the line that I did, like, that was the line that I was like, whoa, this is, and I've, again, like, I've written a lot of songs. So to me, that was what just keeps sticking. Like I replayed it all the time. And I was like, this needs to be in one of my songs. Cause that was the line that came to me. And I was like, it needs to be in something. Like
Did you
in
say, damn, I'm good?
yes. I was in an Uber. I said, stop the car. I have an amazing idea. Stop the car.
I am good at what I do.
I was like,
How
we
often
got
you
it.
stop and do that and give yourself a pat? How often you stop and say, you know what? That was pretty good.
I
I'm doing what I want to be doing, and I'm doing it the way I want to do it. I'm saying what I want to say. And you know what? I got to give myself a pat on the back or celebrate this moment.
I think when the songs are done, I mean, like I said, I have an amazing team. And when I'm in my writing, like, I have moments where I'm like, that is so good. That is so good. But then I run it through my producer, Carson, and he, we work together on these songs, and then we show them to Kezia. And it's like, obviously, like, I'm already proud of what I'm writing. And even if he knows, Carson does know, when I'm set on an idea, like, listen, I'm open to, change. I'm open to conversation with these things, but like when I'm set on an idea, that you're not stopping. And I was like, this has to be it. And so it's like that process, once we finally, okay, now we have the song, it's done, we have to record it. But before we record it, even just, okay, we've agreed on it. That is when I'm like, wow, that's good. Like, wow, I really sit there and I'm like, everyone, because I don't go to a lot of people with my music. I go to the people that are close to me and are, are seeing this dream also, like they're the reason this is happening. And so I think once we're all on the same page of that, I'm really like, wow, like it took, you know, this, and we're here now with this song. Like, I'm so proud of it. Like, when the EP was done, I was like, wow, like, this is amazing. And I think it's when we finish something, the next step, when we did the music videos, I remember looking at Kezia and being like, wow, like, we need to have a bonfire so we can celebrate, so we can give a toast, because wow. And it's those moments of like finally being done with, like, done. It's
Right.
not really the creating process. It's more like finally seeing that finished product and being like, wow, like this, because then I remember all those little things that came into that. I
Mhm.
remember like changing this, doing this until it's finally done. You're like, that's good. Like, that's
Yeah.
really good.
It's important to recognize those milestones.
Yeah.
Tell me about Carson Ezell. Is that how you say his
Carson
last name?
Ezell. Mhm.
Ezell? Tell me about Carson.
It is so funny because so I've known him for 6 years. And when I met him my freshman orientation in Berkeley. And I literally didn't think we were gonna be friends. I called him Casper the first, like, week or 2, and he called me T because he didn't know how to say my name. And so I was like, "I'm not gonna be," like, I just didn't see, like, your orientation friends are normally never the people you end up being with. And so, and we ended up staying in each other's lives, and it was about, like, mid freshman year. He loved producing, he loved engineering, and I obviously songwriting and singing. And so one day we're sitting at the caf of, like, the Berkeley cafeteria, and I remember I also am very picky with who's on my team because as you see, like, I work hard. I want people who are going to work hard and also see the vision. You don't want people who don't believe in you. They need to see it, like, and have that passion as well. And so I always saw Carson was very passionate, very, trustworthy, loyal. And so we're sitting there, he's showing me a song idea, and I was like, why don't we make a song together? And it was pre-COVID. It was right before COVID. And we made Broken Glass. And like, in this tiny little practice room, he puts me in, no space, 6 hours this session took because it was like we were figuring it out. And it was the first song that I did with him. And it was the first song I released after Monster. Um, and it was amazing because then COVID happened and we were trying to figure out, they sent us all these things out. He's in LA, I'm in New York, and we're like, okay, we're gonna figure it out. And that was when I really realized, okay, we're like locked in. Oh, we're locked in. And it was amazing because there was a friendship first, and I really do see a lot of the people that are on my team. It starts off as a friendship, a close friendship, and then it grows into trusting with the business, the brand, with, with him, it just continued. Like, he poured 6 years of our friendship, like, not just friendship, like, there's 6 years, but also this dream, this passion, this grind, this I never have to ask twice. It's always like, "Okay, I get it, and here it is." And he always delivers it. He is one of the most inspiring in a sense of, like, passionate, very loyal, very hardworking. Like, he doesn't stop. And to me, that is always a reason for me to also keep going because of how much he believes in me. So as a friend and as an artist, and that there's a trust as a singer and songwriter. If you have a good producer, specifically, that's the person that's gonna bring those songs to life. And I'm very fortunate that my best friend is that person who's also bringing those songs to life, who sees me, because now he's not just seeing it as, "Oh, she's just an artist." Oh, no, that's my best friend. I know what she's gone through. I know what she's feeling. I know how to put this into music alongside with her, which is one of the biggest blessings I could ever ask for.
Now, he sounds like a great, great guy.
We're
I'm
not
so
dating,
happy.
by the
I'm so happy
way.
that
A lot
you
of people always think that. I'm like, "No, no, 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 no."
it sounds just like a perfect what you need, and that's so another thing that you have, I don't know, manifested in a way. You set out to do to accomplish what you're in the process of accomplishing, and you've surrounded yourself, and they've found with great people, and they found you, and you found them. So this sounds great. I would bring up Kezia, but I know how much managers hate to
No, she
typically
loves
be
it.
oh, she loves it. So say, please tell me about her if you like. We
Yes.
are almost out of time, so just I hate this time went by too fast.
I'm telling you, I'm talking to Teona. I'll sum up Kez in a she is by far, again, the LA, I wouldn't have the biggest blessing, because to me, when I came here, the irony of our story was I was waitressing. She was out for her birthday with her friends. I wasn't going to take her table. Like it was like rotating that table. Like it was an outside table and it was my turn and I wasn't going to do it. I was going to give it to someone else. And I decided, okay, no, I'll just do it. And when I met her, um, I I just knew in that moment, like, I went back to Carson and I go, "She's gonna be my manager. Like, I'm telling you right now, she's gonna be my manager." And he's like, meets her 6 months later and then says the same thing. "Oh, yeah, it's girl, she's gonna be your manager." And it wasn't until, like, 8 months later, I wanna say, that it finally happened. But in my head, I was like, there was a friendship. And she, again, is one of the most loyal, supportive, like, it takes a lot for a person, like, I'm not Beyonce, right? Like, I'm not Be so to see the vision and see the dream and believe in someone who is not at that level yet and take you to that level, it takes a lot in a person, because it takes discipline, it takes hard work, it takes passion. And she is one of the most hardworking people I've seen. She's a badass. Like, I've seen her in situations I don't have to ever doubt her. I've seen her, and I've been in situations with her where we're like, "Oh my god, how are
Yeah,
we gonna do this? Like, something is wrong." And we're just keeping it cool and we're like, "We're gonna figure it out." And I'm so thankful for that, because like I
I
said, it
can
started as a
confirm that.
friendship.
I've seen her in action too. She's amazing.
Yes. She's amazing. She's literally my mother, my manager, my best friend, like, we're locked in.
Well, I am so happy that you have that team around you, and I'm so happy for your success and this new EP. We're going to play a live here in just a moment, and I'd like you to help set it up if you wouldn't mind. Last question for you before we do all that. Um, what's the best thing you've heard from a fan that's walked up to you and said, "Have you had any good fan moments playing out
I
live or just online anywhere?"
There's 2. I like that, just I literally just, I screenshotted it. I wanted to I'll share it on this. It was by far one of the best compliments I've ever gotten. I remember seeing it. I was like, this is no way. And it was someone saying, if she isn't holding a Grammy in 10 years from now, we might as well put the final nail in the sonic coffin and resign to the fact that nepotism reigns with the industry plants who could never command a presence so phenomenal. And I was just like, what? What? And the
I read that. I
that
read
was
that.
that was
Yeah.
crazy. I was like, "What?" And, from a person I didn't know, also was, "No clue how you pulled this off, but your music feels like a late night combo with someone who just gets it. The kind of connection that's rare. Don't stop." And I think that also resonated to me, because it's why I create. I don't create so you just listen, but so you feel. And so
Yeah.
when someone comes to me and says, "I felt what you were saying. I felt that deepness. I felt that vulnerability." It is one of the biggest compliments, because it is the reason I create, it is the reason I am the artist that I am, and I never wanna stop that. I never wanna and if someone is feeling that through my music, I am so blessed to be able to do what I do then. So, I was like, "Don't worry, I got it on my phone, let me show you." I always keep
Well,
them.
that's you wanna keep that one for sure. All right, so set here it is. You're premiering alive on this show. This is your next single. I believe it drops on September 9th. Today is September 1st. We get it a whole 8 days early. Everybody is so lucky listening to the show right now. Teona Zak, this is alive. Can you set it up for us?
This is alive. This is coming out September 9th, just like Jeremiah said. It is a song that is going to make you feel like fairy tales exist and that you deserve love and you deserve to be loved. And so check it out, pre-save it. I'm so thankful and so honored to be able to share this song a week in advance. So definitely check it out, pre-save it, and here it is, Alive by me, Teona Zak.
Well, not so fast, Tiana. That was a perfect setup, but I'm gonna interrupt it. It's still coming. We're just teasing them. I wanted to just give you final thoughts. Did you want to say thanks to anybody or John? I would definitely want to thank Jonathan Platt and Kezia for
Oh, I
and
wanted to
also
yes, I wanna thank first of all, thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you for putting me on your show. That was I'm so honored.
anytime.
I had an amazing time, it was so much fun. I wanna also thank Jonathan Platt and Kezya Riley. Uh, they are the reason that I'm doing this right now, and I'm so thankful for them too. I wanna thank Carson Ezell for making the music, allowing me to be able to share what I have put into words and finally let people hear that. I'm excited about that. And yeah, I'm so thankful. I'm fortunate that I'm able to do what I love and be able to have people that listen to my music. And I'm excited for everyone to hear and check it out.
Yeah, we better see you with that Grammy before 10 years. I want to see it in year two. All right, Teona Zak, my special guest today. Thank you so much, Teona. Check out Golden Days. It's out now. And on September 9th, the new single that we're about to play, Alive, drops. Golden Days is a nostalgic summer anthem that captures the magic of sun-soaked days, late night drives, tangled sheets, and that unforgettable summer romance that felt too good to fade. Golden Days out now. Teona Zak's new EP, To Be Loved, will be out this fall, so stay tuned. Here we'll have her back, and I'll let you know on the show when To Be Loved is out. It's look forward to this fall. The link to pre-save Alive is in our podcast copy. Buzz Music Magazine says that Teona Zak is a contemporary pop artist with a bluesy, soul-soaked edge and is gearing up to drop her brand new single, Alive, on September 9th. And it's already sounding like the kind of track that can rip your heart open in the best way possible. Teona is celebrating the single with an intimate release show at Black Rabbit Rose on September 11th. And we are playing Alive for you exclusively here on the Jeremiah Show right now. Enjoy, communicate, but listen more and evolve. Thank you, Teona.